I have a question for you. Have you ever seen a Fox News host this confused? I'm going to play a clip for you of Lawrence Jones talking about oil and gas, imports and exports. This is from Decoding Fox News. And he just seems so disoriented and confused about how things work. And it's actually a really good opportunity to explain some things about oil and gas and so-called energy independence, which is a term that's often repeated. I don't even know that the average person knows what it means. So my hope is this will be really instructive. Let's start with the clip. Here's Lawrence Jones talking about oil and gas, and he's visibly confused and doesn't know what the hell is going on.
Yesterday we had AFP on, and they are going to about 30 to 40 different gas stations, and they're paying for the gas to get back to when Donald Trump was there to show Americans what life was about. But they did some analysis on why the gas prices are going up, and it's all tied to the green energy policy of Joe Biden. $27 billion toward the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, $20 billion to the...
Now, if you're hearing this and saying, man, he sounds confused, he sounds like he's just reading stuff he doesn't understand, you're absolutely correct.
The Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, $20 billion to the automobile companies to buy EV-friendly vehicles. Chargers. By the way, people are returning those cars, A. Right. And number two, we just had lots and lots of rental cars companies that they got rid of because no one wants to buy them. So
So he's trying to argue that the reason for supply demand shifts in oil, which leads to gas prices because gasoline for vehicles is refined from oil, it's because of Biden's Green New Deal, which isn't a thing, right? I mean, it's like, okay, in the Inflation Reduction Act and the infrastructure bill, they have elements that relate to EVs and green energy, but the Green New Deal was never passed. It's people are buying EVs, but then returning them, and things are being shipped, and all the supply demand. Do facts matter at all? Now, I want to briefly explain the entire energy independence, oil and gas thing that's going on. They love to argue that Biden has dramatically changed the status quo with regard to oil in the United States. And they usually point to gas prices to try to prove that. They go, well, gas prices are up. Gas prices were way up, then they were down. Now that as we head into summer, they're going up again. There's a seasonality to it. If you really want to compare gas prices now to when Trump was president, you also need to adjust for inflation. Put that all aside for a second. In the United States, we are and have been energy independent under Joe Biden by their definition. Now, let me tell you what their definition is. Their definition is they go, okay, how much oil do we drill in a year? And how much oil do we use in a year? That's their definition. Now, I don't even know that that's a great definition of energy independence, and you'll understand why in a moment. But their definition is, are we producing as much oil as we consume as a country? But we are still importing oil, and we are still exporting oil. Why are we doing that? If we produce as much as we use, why are we doing that? And the bulk of the explanation is that there's different types of crude oil, which is the source material that is refined into gasoline. And it has different characteristics. The two main categories are light sweet crude and heavy sour crude. Why is it called sour versus sweet? It's literally about the taste, and it's about sulfur content, I believe. If you touch it to your lips, you will notice that the light sweet crude is sort of sweet, and the heavy sour crude is sort of sour. In the U.S., we are mostly getting light sweet crude out of the ground. We are not set up to refine light sweet crude. In the U.S., our refineries are set up to refine heavy sour crude, but that's not what we get out of the ground. Now, you might say, well, why? Why are we set up that way? Refineries specialize. And because historically we were importing light sweet crude from other countries, our refineries are set up to refine light sweet crude. So we refine mostly heavy sour crude. We are set up to refine mostly sour crude. So when we take all the light sweet crude out of the ground, we have to export it so that it can be refined elsewhere. That's what is going on here in the United States. Do you think Lawrence Jones understands this? Do you think the average Trumpist or even Trump himself understands this? Or would it be better to just say the reason we're seeing all this stuff go on, the reason we're importing and exporting, the reason that much of this actually depends on global markets, which the U.S. is only one of many players in. It doesn't have to do with people buying and returning electric vehicles thanks to something Joe Biden did, which he didn't actually do. I don't think they have any idea. But you already, if you understand this concept that we are energy independent in terms of usage versus production, but the reason we don't refine the stuff we use is we don't have the right type of refinery, you already know more than the average, forget about the average Fox News viewer, the average Fox News host appears to know at this point in time. It's important to me that any supplement I take is of the highest quality and freshness, and that's why I've been turning to AG1 for years. Unlike other vitamin brands, AG1 conducts relentless testing for purity and potency. It's tested for 950 contaminants and banned substances, while the industry standard is usually to test for only 10. AG1 is NSF certified for sport, one of the most rigorous independent quality and safety certifications out there. And the whole reason I drink AG1 is it just is simple. It simplifies everything. It's a scoop a day. I get my vitamins and my minerals, and that's all I need. And the probiotics in AG1 are something I'm particularly glad is there. So AG1 just replaces the vitamin bottles, the digestive aids, all of the things that you might otherwise be taking individually. It's quicker, it's more cost effective than buying everything individually. You can go to drinkag1.com/Pacman to get a free year supply of vitamin D and K, plus 5 free AG1 travel packs. The link is down below.